Did you take care of Russ's problem? The truck in the street? He said, I said, you take
Y'all need to
I went by there and he said he'd already talked to you. I said, well, why'd you bother me? That's what I told him. About 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
No, he's talking about
I forgot about
this.
that. Wow.
Okay. The last one.
Apparently this, it's been sitting there, I saw it. Utility guy.
Look at it.
We could be sitting here 10 years ago. We're not real happy. Lord, that might be.
Now, this is a half-ton truck.
The scope of what
He would do it.
Is it power?
I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
All the aldermen are present. Please stand. Mr. Glorioso is going to lead some invocation. Mr. Wade in the pledge.
Everybody, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of Ocean Springs. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the agenda. One addendum, we have a special guest of item 2A.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Hempy, by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to introduce our district attorney. Ms. Angel Myers is here and she wanted to address the board briefly.
I appreciate y'all letting me come and taking me out first. I have another obligation, wasn't expecting to be here, but I knew y'all were taking up an issue or hearing about an issue that was important to what I do as your district attorney. I've been a prosecutor in Jackson County for almost 20 years now. I've been your district attorney since 2019. And one of the very first things I did as your district attorney was purchase SWAT cameras and put them all throughout Jackson County. And including Ocean Springs. And our community is safer because of it. We have solved murders, drive-by shootings, aggravated assaults, property theft, credit card fraud, even felony shoplifting. The FBI collaborated with our local law enforcement agencies to use our flock cameras to solve the big ATM heist. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it had spread over a few states. And they used our cameras to solve and prosecute that. These aren't cameras that I think public thinks are sending out speeding tickets or something like that. These are cameras that are used to see who's in a particular area of a crime. And they are used to supplement and assist in investigations. They can confirm witness statements. They can eliminate potential suspects. They're vital tools for Amber Alerts, which time is of the essence. The flock type pan, tilt, and zoom cameras solved the recent United Healthcare CEO murder. The Boston bomber case was solved with cameras. Today's juries are more sophisticated and they expect my office to have the technology and to use the technology that is available to us. And knowing that this technology exists, why would we ever not use it and not pursue it? We're not tracking driving habits of people, law-abiding citizens. My job is to prosecute criminals and to keep this community safe. And these cameras are a tool by which we accomplish that. I can tell you that, a big part of my job is sitting with victims. And every victim I have ever sat with, I promise you, they wish the crime against their family member had been on video. Crime often has no witnesses, and even when it does have witnesses, they're often reluctant. And cameras and technology and digital evidence fill the gap that we have with eyewitnesses to crime. I want every city in my jurisdiction and every inch of every county in my jurisdiction to be safe, and flock cameras help me do that. They are a force multiplier. You would need a cop standing at every location, every corner, watching all day to do what that camera does. And so unless we come into an infinite amount of money, an infinite amount of police officers, an infinite amount of resources, including just human body resources, to do this job, cameras are the absolute very best way to keep our community safe. And I also think it's a little hypocritical for us to expect our law enforcement officers to wear a body camera and record every single thing that they do, but yet we would be against putting a camera in a public place to capture the criminal element victimizing our community. Crime fighting, public safety, prosecution, all of that's changed dramatically since I was 27 when I started doing this, and I'm a little older than that now. Don't look it, but I am. Now that shouldn't have got the biggest laugh. But it's changed dramatically since I started doing this job, and we have to be in tune with technology. It is moving and infiltrating every area of our lives, including how we protect our community. And we need to use it to the advantage and to the protection of the people that we were elected to serve. Also, this is a really novel idea, but people could not commit crime. And then it wouldn't matter whether their tag was red or they were caught on camera walking down Government Street. We live in a society where we should expect and know that we're being recorded almost all the time, almost everywhere you go. You can be walking down the street, somebody can come up and record you. Somebody could record me right now. Even if I don't want them to, they could do it. Law enforcement, they can sit on the corner. They can record tags. They can record what's going on in the public space. The point is it's public, not private, okay? If I am for the just zealous protection of individual rights. But this is a public place, not a private place. And it is the individual rights of our entire community at stake here. I can tell you when people are aware of a strong police presence and surveillance of an area, they modify their behavior. People act different when they know they're being recorded. And there's also a cost to crime that I know that y'all have the conversation because you're worried about the money in the city, but I don't know that everybody on the outside really thinks about the cost of crime. And we can't retain businesses, and we can't grow our community if it isn't our property values. We can't maintain or grow our property values if our community isn't safe. It is an investment in public safety, and it is an investment in the prosperity of our community. And I want to tell you, Ocean Springs has some of the finest, most skilled, most talented, most dedicated law enforcement officers that I have the privilege to work with. And I appreciate the work that they do. I appreciate that you support them. I appreciate that you have funded these cameras. I would ask you to continue to support them in all the ways that they ask for support. I'd put more cameras up. We want our community safe. And so, thank you. I'm sorry that I had to get done and go. If y'all have questions, reach out to me. I'm available 24/7. And I appreciate it, and thank you for what you're doing for our community. It is so important. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
We have a proclamation.
There's a check.
This is commending Lieutenant Chris Wise for his service to the city of Ocean Springs and his continued success upon his retirement from the city service. Whereas the city of Ocean Springs is proud to recognize the men and women who display immense bravery and honor by risking their lives every day to serve and protect the citizens of our local community. And And whereas Chris Wise, Lieutenant of the Ocean Springs Police Department, has served the community with pride and dedication for 25 years and officially retires on Thursday, December 19, 2024. Whereas Lieutenant Wise began his career with the Ocean Springs Police Department in 1999 as an Ocean Springs Patrol Officer. In October 1999, Lieutenant Wise began working at the Ocean Springs Police Department. Whereas Lieutenant Wise graduated from the Mississippi Law Enforcement Academy in 2000. Through hard work and diligence, he was promoted to lieutenant in 2007. Whereas during the time at the Ocean Springs Police Department, Lieutenant Wise achieved many remarkable accomplishments, such as graduating from Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs thanks Lieutenant Wise for his many years of outstanding service with the Ocean Springs Police Department and extends him sincere best wishes for continued success in all of his future endeavors. Now therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, the Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do hereby proudly present this proclamation and recognize Lieutenant Wise for his loyal commitment and service to the local community of Ocean Springs and proclaim Thursday, December 19, 2024 as Chris Wise Day. So we have another special guest with us tonight. Ocean Springs Mayor's Youth Council update by Ms. Emma Williams, our Youth Council President.
Good evening. My name is Emma Williams, and I'm the president of the Ocean Springs Mayor's Youth Council and a senior at Ocean Springs High School. I would like to sincerely thank Mayor Holloway, the Board of Aldermen, city officials, and most importantly, our advisor, Raven Nettles. Your hard work and dedication to our city is beyond admirable. Mayor's Youth Council is an organization that aims to bridge the gap between the city of Ocean Springs and its youth, mainly through community service and council events. Each year, the council selects a mission to educate themselves and focus community outreach on. This year, the council selected mental health awareness. With the help of my Vice President, Asia Martin, and Secretary, Tate Castleman, we found an initiative that encourages the council to strive to educate ourselves on topics that might seem taboo to some, but truly enrich our empathy and ability to connect with others. The council selected the Mental Health Association of South Mississippi to partner with to put on our annual NYC Lawn event that was held at Fort Moore Paw. This year, we had over 70 students come to participate in food, games, and raffles where we were able to raise money for the nonprofit. The council broke out into different groups to tackle tasks such as assembling food for the students to indulge in, such as raising canes, Lost Pizza, and the winner of the night, Shirley Temples. Another group was in charge of organizing games such as pickleball, where it was placed on the stage at the fort, and cornhole, as well as entertainment, where we had our famous pie in the face and bob for apples. Through this partnership, the council was fortunate enough to be able to hear from a representative from the nonprofit, Ms. Kay Denault, who enlightened the council on early signs of depression, anxiety, and suicidal tendencies in teens, and how we as leaders in our community can better assist and communicate with people in our lives who express they are struggling with mental health problems. More projects the council has conducted surrounding mental health include initiatives to post positive reminders across our schools to hopefully bring joy to students who might not be feeling joyful that day. So far, we have been able to chalk encouraging messages around the entrances of the upper elementary and decorate positive posters at the high school. With a 30-member council, there are 3 small groups where each 9 weeks, those small groups conduct community service projects proposed by those students. The council highlighted a lack of education between the high school population and the local elderly community. To combat the connection loss, my small group joined forces with Here Comes the Sun, organized by our May Partridge, to repurpose flowers to bring to Lighthouse Assisted Living, and brought repurposed flowers from a local floral shop downtown for residents to make floral arrangements with the members of the council. We were fortunate enough to spend 2 hours with the residents, and the council members loved this event so much that we are planning to go back in the spring and host an event at a much larger scale. One of the various requirements the council members have to complete throughout the year is mandatory events that the council partners with the Mary C. O'Keefe Cultural and Arts Center, like the cemetery tour, where the members get to take guests throughout the cemetery and listen to spooky stories about real-life people that lived in Ocean Springs long ago. Another event that the members participated in was Cruising on the Coast Festival, where we had members working alongside the Mary Sea and taking pictures for the city's Instagram. I would say an all-time favorite was working during the Peter Anderson Festival. The council members were spread out over a course of the 2-day festival doing various jobs to help the community for the Chamber of Commerce. Personally, I can say I enjoyed working the United Way of Jackson County tent, where we were selling pecans, and the proceeds went to over 16 different organizations that helped people in need on the coast. Another event was the Spooky Springs event, where we held members in each council participated in a flash mob dance party, as well as face painting and helping the local vendors throughout the event. One of our most recent events was the students said they enjoyed immensely was the Ingalls workshop held in Pascagoula. We were able to hear from several speakers on the panels and have interactive sessions that allowed the members to give their opinions on various topics. In this workshop, the council was able to network with other councils along the coast and discuss common issues that affected the youth in our generation within council leaders, as well as meet with college students to get advice on navigating college and how to get involved and make our mark in the world. Another requirement for the council is to complete 3 special projects per semester. Special projects are tasks within the community that sometimes just need some extra hands to complete a service. Those projects include donations to Adrian's House, which included products such as shampoo, conditioner, diapers, hair products, clothing, etc. Other projects involved assisting with the Cash Alley mural and assisting with promotions for events. In the city, the council will begin the process of the State of the Youth Survey. Our council will create 25 questions to send out to our peers pertaining to issues greatly affecting the youth in Ocean Springs. Through this questionnaire, the city and the school districts can accumulate data and can positively impact our community by giving intel about how students are feeling pertaining to certain issues such as alcohol use, nicotine use, and mental health. In years past, the council has been able to meet with community leaders such as the mayor, alderman, police chief, president of the Ocean Springs Chamber of Commerce, and to share more data about the challenges that these leaders face with the youth in our community. Next semester, the council aims to do more outreach with our elderly community. Some ideas suggested for this project were including some of our high school band members to come and play some smooth jazz for the residents and partake in either some pottery, art, or even more flower arrangements. Another idea was to find more ways we can positively impact our peers by promoting respectful ways to educate people on mental health to hopefully open up conversations and break down barriers that make these conversations seem so taboo. The goal is to create an environment where everyone feels they have a voice and they can have someone who they can talk to if they're ever feeling low. How the council is going about these conversations are still ongoing. However, members have expressed to me their excitement for what the future holds for the Mayor's Youth Council next semester, as am I. This council has truly made an impact in our community by bridging the gaps that pull us apart. I feel as though our community is coming together closer through education, community service, and respect for each other. This year's council is incredibly capable and very talented, and I'm very excited and happy to be elected as a leader of this council. I'm very grateful and honored to be able to do it for one more semester. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. For those of you who have not had a chance to watch this group in action, it's the best of the best of Ocean Springs, adults and children, or young people, so to speak, and they do great work. And thank you, Raven, for organizing and taking that task on. Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. The public is invited to address the board only regarding issues listed on this agenda. Please identify yourself and the agenda item before speaking. Okay. Does anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
Q.
Q. That's contract consulting services.
Yeah.
Anything else? Need a motion to go with the
Make a
consent?
motion to accept the consent agenda with the exception of item Q.
Motion by Ms. Denby, second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item Q, Ricky.
Yeah, I have a question for Carolyn on this. Carolyn, I read through this, and I guess what's the end goal on once this is all done? And
Well, it's been about 10, 12 years since we updated the guidelines. But the first thing that we wanted to do them together, but the cost was more than the grant would allow, so we're phasing it in. This will evaluate, the consulting firm will come in and evaluate the current historic districts. They're experts in the field and they have oversight through archives and history. So they'll evaluate, make a recommendation on any changes, if any.
So they have future too, or is it just current?
They evaluate the current history, and they do have a standard. I would have to learn more about, that's why we bring them in to do it. But they have a standard based on the city's history and the existing historic, if the district still holds any historic value, if there's another area that had oversight, just based on any new information. So, and it's, from what I understand, many times the districts don't change, but it's just to kind of confirm and get a new evaluation on what's included in our current districts.
And how long of a process is that?
It will take several months for them to do, because it's a windshield survey, so they will be out in the field, on foot, making surveys, observations about current structures.
So they're not even making contact with individual owners of historical houses? They're just
Not that I'm aware of, but if that, when we do get them under contract, then I'll, Carter and I sit down with them and see exactly how they want to go about doing it and facilitate wherever needed. So we can provide you an update.
Okay.
Am I gonna manage the contract?
Yeah, we'll sit down and kind of work out
Who's managing it? You're both of us?
Yeah, well, financially, I'll work it as a grant program, but we'll sit down and figure out, I don't know exactly. But then the next phase, I've already put in the application, I'm in the process, will be to then update the guidelines. Because you don't want to update the guidelines first and then go back and change your district.
Right.
So it'll be a 2-year process to get both sides done.
Anything else?
They're comparing this at the national level too. So what they're doing is they're looking at ways to either maximize or increase or minimize what's existing. And then they compare that to the national.
Well, I don't know if they don't really look at national unless there's some nationally historic properties that haven't been identified as of yet. But one thing to remember is that our districts are more regulatory in nature. Our guidelines are to regulate and make construction happen a certain way. State and federal is to provide incentives so that we really have two different jobs in the historic preservation world. We regulate, they provide incentives, tax incentives, they have a bunch of different programs to encourage people to fix up and maintain older structures.
It does say that it compares National Register listed and locally designated, so.
Just to make sure they've caught everything.
Yeah, okay.
Then, nobody else has any questions, I'll make a motion that we approve Q.
Motion by Mr. Alderman.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blackman. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to Department of Reports, does anyone have anything to pull from the docket of claims?
Make a motion that we approve docket claims, that all expenditures are appropriate and authorized by law, and spread summary on the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Alderman, second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Does anyone have any questions about the sewer adjustments?
I don't have any questions, but some of them have gotten pretty high.
Yeah, I sent out an email on that. I think we need to make an adjustment. I mean, obviously we can't do it tonight, but something needs to be prepared. Not only, we limit it to, what is it, once a year? But I think we need to put a cap on it as well. I don't know how to go about setting that cap, but yeah, some of these have gotten to be astronomical.
It's kind of hard to do, Mike, because like the one nobody was occupying the house, and so they didn't know it was leaking.
Well, I mean,
they did repair the leak, but none of it, we're only adjusting the sewer, not the water.
I get that, but
They're paying for the water that they're wasting.
Even the house, even though the house isn't occupied, somebody's getting a bill. I mean, if the bill jumps up, I mean, they've got to know something's going on. If the house isn't occupied, it shouldn't move at all. So.
Yes, they weren't there to see, the leak. And,
that's my
just
point,
the
though,
sewer though that we're
I get
adjusting
it.
that was not used, so
I
they're
get
not receiving that benefit.
That's all I got.
Is there a motion to approve the
Make a motion, we approve the
sewer
adjustments.
Motion by Mr. Alderman, second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is Police Department authorize Ocean Springs Police Department to use the DOT Skill Bridge program. Chief Lemire.
Yes, so this is a program with the Department of Defense. So the last 6 months of their enlistment, it's basically an internship with us. It's a transition period, so we have one guy right now we're interested in. We'd like to bring him aboard, get him going, then within 6 months, hire him as a full-time employee. All of his training will be done, and it doesn't cost us anything.
Okay, that's good.
Gee, what are we spending now to train someone off the street? What's it roughly?
Not counting equipment, it's the $70,000 range between, benefits and the training, the 6 months.
Okay.
It's substantial.
So we're saving 70,000 thereabouts. Good.
And you just have one candidate right now, or?
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the first in the state to do this program, so there's gonna be some bumps with it, but we're working with Mindy and figuring it out.
I make the motion that we authorize the police department to utilize the DOD Skill Bridge program.
Second by Mr. Papania, second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mindy, are they also going to need to make the motion to approve for the internship? So it was in the minutes.
Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. The public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum period of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per side of each issue. Please identify yourself clearly at the podium before speaking.
Good evening, board. My name is C. Brian Rose. I live at 1207 Londonderry Lane, Ocean Springs. I wrote the article that came out today about the surveillance technology. I guess that's what prompted Ms. Myers to be here today. It prompted a lot of discussion online, a lot of debate online. Some, of course, see the technology as a violation of their constitutional rights. It's a great debate. They see it as invasive, overreach into their private lives, the way that it tracks. Others see it as a way, like Ms. Myers did, to crack down on crime. This is a debate that outdates all of us. In fact, in the 18th century, the founders were debating this very issue. They discussed the idea of giving up liberties, essential liberties, in exchange for a little security. And they were against it. But tonight, there's one part of this conversation that I think that both sides of the issue can agree on. You passed a controversial measure with far-reaching implications, a high cost to taxpayers, without telling us about it. There was no public debate, no explanation of the details, and no opportunity for the people footing the bill to have a say in it. You hit it in the consent agenda, and I've got today's agenda here. This is the sheet that everybody gets, and it says under the consent agenda, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Aldermen. Today, it's a run-walk permit, special events permit, another permit for a cancer run. I don't see anything that is remotely close to installing a $55,000 surveillance system that tracks vehicles of residents. That's not routine business to me. My guess is that a lot of you didn't actually read the contract with this company, and it's just a guess. If I'm correct, then that's a failure. But what I do know is you saw the dollar signs, you saw the price tag, yet you still passed it without the public's input, without asking anybody about it. And it's months later that people are just now finding out about it. And just basically what I'm reading online is people are mostly upset about that. And the rest of the issue can be debated, but we don't want to see the consent agenda used for things that are not, what did you call it, routine. And I don't think installing cameras that track vehicles throughout the city is routine. So I hope you use your powers and do something about this, do better, because I think that the people that have been talking online, they're going to use their powers on election day if you don't. And that's not a warning, that's just how our country works. And I hope that you heed that call. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My name is William Jackson. I live at 405 Russell Avenue here in the city of Ocean Springs. Once upon a time, I used to be a police officer, but like since 1984 until I retired in 2021. What this gentleman's telling you, he's not telling you the whole story. He's just giving you part of it. He's trying to stir people up. Public safety is voted by these gentlemen and ladies before me here on this board. It don't have to be transparent. They have in the past been transparent when it's putting the cameras out. If y'all recall, the camera when it went up on the bridge, when we had that assault that happened on the bridge, afterwards, we decided to put a camera up there. We don't have to be transparent, let the public know, but the public did know because I did the interview with WLX to let them know. Chief Lemaire, when he first came in contact with these cameras, when we sat down, the administration, we talked about it. And we were all in agreement. We did not want traffic cameras. We did not want red light cameras. We did not want speeding cameras. But we was on the road on the insurance and tag cameras. Now, he's trying to tell you, if you notice what he said, tracking your vehicles. The camera does not just track vehicles. It tracks all movements. It's not, there's no software that where that tag is going down, unless it's going to the cloud to maintain the video. And I'm just getting tired of people bashing this board. Like I said, when I came here in 1995, they were kind enough, gracious enough to give me a job because I was unemployed. I just got in the military. And the many boards I've worked for, this is far beyond the best. That's since 1994 that has sat here before me. And I just want the citizens to know, be careful when people tell you certain things. Read the fine print. Read the whole, what is their hidden agenda? What is he trying to get across? And trust me, these gentlemen over here, I know all of them sitting over here right now. I read the supervisor, well, I supervise all of them. I supervise them, work with them, and I know for a fact they're not going to do anything against anybody's constitution, anything against your right. They're not going to violate your Fourth Amendment. Matter of fact, they're going to go backwards, and I know they will. That's all I have to say. Y'all have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Anyone else would like to address the board?
Good evening, Scott Park, 2478 Davidson Road. I'm here on the same matter. It's kind of taken up where it should have been an open discussion. I understand that, you know, it's important to have safety. But having selected flock safety as your source is, I guess, my biggest question. Who picked them? Why'd they pick them? Jackson County came in and says, oh, we had them in Ocean Springs, so is that why we selected them? I did a little research there, and they got a ton of lawsuits against them. October 22nd, privacy violated, warrantless surveillance led to flock safety camera lawsuit. Virginia City, October 23rd, 2024. New lawsuit challenges whether flock cameras in Norfolk are constitutional, October 22nd, 2024, and so on. So did we do research? Did we just take Jackson County's, just follow them? Hey, we got them here. Why don't we just go with flock? So it's just a matter of, like the gentleman says, an open discussion, an open forum about the use of that camera in that particular manufacturer. And I'm sure the police interviewed them. I watched the video on Mr. Garrett, the CEO of Flock. On their website, it says that it's a transparent product, that we can access it. In the interview, he says, oh, no, nobody is transparent. They're to minutes and 40 seconds into the video. He's open about saying, no, only the police can access it. But their website says that anybody, it's a transparent. Well, it's not. Or is it? We don't know. But that's it. Open discussion would have been nice with the public. Thank you.
Ellen Hall, 1217 Sunset. I just wanted to cover something that I brought up last meeting when you guys voted on the Paps Road, Government Street triangle frontage roads. And we had videotaped that entire Government Street stretch. I gave a copy to Bobby, Patty. Patty called me back and said that, Carolyn had recommended putting the sign on Paps Road because that's where the addresses would eventually be on that if it were developed. But they hadn't put a sign on Government Street, like I said, which the attorney that was sitting here, Will, said when you asked him, Bobby, were we 100% compliant? He said yes. Carter said yes. We confirmed that it was just Paps Road, and you didn't know. You didn't know that you didn't put the sign up where I said it was. You don't listen to the public. I tried to tell you, Shannon tried to tell you, and it wasn't done. So I just want to say that I don't know. When you said I didn't know after the URP was signed, we agreed to on the redevelopment act, you guys said you didn't know it had an eminent domain aspect. You said you didn't know that the Reynolds property was supposed to be left as a CDAP funded property to be preserved and it's in perpetuity. You didn't know it at the time, and we gave you a deed to show you, and it took months of fighting with you guys till you guys kindly said, I heard Mayor say in the last meeting, he told Carter Thompson it was CDAP funded property and it was be held in perpetuity in its natural state. And I was very happy to hear you say that after all these months of saying that. But it goes on and on and on. I didn't know. When Bobby said in the interview, I guess when he was asked, I didn't know the full depth of this contract and what the AI with properties were supposed to do. But if you look at the rules of the game, when you're elected as an alderman, you have a fiduciary duty. You have a fiduciary duty that obligates you to act in the best interests of the public, the residents you represent. You also have a duty of care, which means that you're going to be a reasonably prudent person to look into things, to research them, to listen to the public and take comments. I don't see you guys doing that. I don't see you reading the contracts, doing the research. When I asked why you didn't have a maximum dB for the downtown music, I was told that you asked your city attorney and you asked the police chief years ago if there could be one, and that they recommended not because it might be unconstitutional or hard to discern or hard to, I can't remember what the words were, but I'm telling you 85% of cities have a max dB, but you just take the word of one person or two people and don't do the research. I researched it. You can Google things really easily. You just go to your browser and ask a question. Please do that, or I feel you're unqualified to do your job and you shouldn't run again.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, Carter Thompson, Community Development Director, City of Ocean Springs. The posting was posted on the property, as they always are, and it's always included in the staff report, and no matter how long you provide inaccurate information, it does not make it true. We have a consistent method of putting in the posting on the properties in the staff reports, and that will continue to remain.
But it's in the.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Rebecca Alston, 117 Pine Drive, Ocean Springs. It seems like the code should mandate, what the decibel level is that should be outside of buildings, or the code should designate what type of installations may buff the sound so that the other people are not disturbed. That is usually a code issue in cities, that you have to insulate so that a certain decibel system does not escape the building, or soundproof the building. It doesn't have to be, I'm not talking about regular insulation, the way you stack the studs, the way you build the construction, or what you put on the interior to stop the sound. So it's a code issue.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
William Betterton, 5807 Chicopee Trace, Ward 1. Cameras, you don't have to give up all the details. There's things that you discuss amongst yourselves that need to stay there. Police chief says this is a good system. Okay, we gotta trust him. I'm a family member in law enforcement. I won't go too deep. Bobby knows, okay? This system's used nationwide, every day. Robberies, murders, rapists, child abductions. They can track the license plate. It's going from city to city. Do you want to give the criminal element all your tools? You open up the Pandora's box and say, this is what this system's going to do, and how it's going to do. Might as well get a bank robbery combination. Certain things need to stay in the police department. Yes, government. Citizens need to know how you spend the money. This is what this system will do for us. You don't need to know all the details. That's what they get paid big money for, to vet out those details and to give us what we need to know.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay, that concludes public comment. Chief, I'm going to ask you to come up because I know you've got something to say about this yourself.
All right, so today an article was published by the Ocean Springs Weekly Record that as the chief of police of this city, I think it's my duty to address and share my comments. The article written by E. Brian Rose entitled, "Not Just Cameras, Tracking System Installed in Ocean Springs," alludes to cameras being installed on a Sunday morning in December as a highly invasive surveillance system. This article states that these cameras that track, analyze, and record your vehicle's movements. Cameras that scan and log every truck. Let me be clear that this is 100% not true. The cameras are not license plate readers. They are pan, tilt, zoom cameras. These cameras are in place for us to be able to monitor large events, catch shoplifters, and overall assist us in crime prevention and solvability. The technology and use of cameras is not new to Ocean Springs. On September 23rd, 2020, a discussion took place with the police department and Board of Aldermen to enter into a contract with Project NOLA. Project NOLA is a company dedicated to reducing crime, increasing the quality of life, and stimulating local economies by placing cost-subsidized, high-definition cameras in needed areas. Through Project NOLA, we obtained several tag readers and several PTZ cameras. These cameras has helped us solve a multitude of crimes to include shootings and murder. Our current venture is a continuation of this project. No one was hiding anything. This project has been active for over 4 years now. Now let me talk about the tag readers. The camera has been photographed on Greyhound Way and other locations in the city do not belong to us. Around 2021, the District Attorney's Office entered into a 2-year agreement with Flock. They saw the success of tag readers and wanted to help cities in Jackson County. Last year, the Met Task Force Board voted for Met to pay for this technology through seized funds. All cities in Jackson County, along with unincorporated areas of Jackson County, have these tag readers in place. There are currently over 4,000 Flock cameras in 42 states. The cost of these new cameras do come out of the PD budget. We had a $30,000 a year contract with another technology company. We canceled that contract and put Flock cameras in its place. Our budget was not raised for the increase in public safety. These cameras alert police personnel when a violator passes near the camera. This is done through NCIC, which law enforcement has used for decades. Flock will not alert us to people who owe fines, but will alert us for missing children, silver alert, stolen vehicles, fraud suspects, and other felony crimes.
Our officers do not make traffic stops based solely on this information. The information must be confirmed and probable cause established before making a traffic stop. The Fourth Amendment provides that the right of the people to be secure in their homes, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated. Historically, Fourth Amendment doctrine rests in that of common law trespass, focused on whether the government obtains information by physically intruding on a constitutionally protected area. In 1967, however, the Supreme Court of the United States articulated a new two-phased standard to assess whether a search occurred under the Fourth Amendment. Katz versus United States. The Katz test requires courts to analyze whether first, the person exhibits an actual expectation of privacy, and second, that the expectation is one that society is prepared to recognize as reasonable. If either the first or second facet is not met, no Fourth Amendment violation has transpired. With that being said, a person traveling in an automobile on a public thoroughfare has no reasonable expectation of privacy in his movements from one place to another. These are experts from United States versus Miller, which was published October 11, 2024. Miller committed an armed robbery and law enforcement used flock cameras to identify and ultimately arrest him. Miller was attempting to have evidence suppressed because he believed he possessed a reasonable expectation of privacy in his movements. In the modern era, it seems as though many street corners have a camera. Everyday individuals drive past surveillance cameras, including private security cameras, CCTV cameras, ALPRs, traffic light cameras, pole cameras, or flock cameras. Their installation and use is not new. As a society, we have come to expect of the public surveillance of our vehicles as we travel on public roads. We understand that at any given time in public, a camera may take a picture of our vehicle. While admittedly different in extent, this type of surveillance method is no different than what was possible in the pre-computer age. More importantly, these cameras provide no greater information than that which is available to the naked eye. I will also say that I'm fortunate to have Deputy Chief Dinah help me because I've wasted 2 days because of misinformation that's been spread.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Mayor, I'd like to say one thing, Robert, before you do, on what the chief just said. So, 2020 is when the cameras first went up. The board before this voted unanimously, 100%, after a discussion at a public meeting on the 23rd of October of 2020, to install those cameras, which this new system is doing nothing but replacing those cameras. That's it.
And I do want to say too, that wasn't paid for by tax dollars. That was paid for out of 2%, which is used for public safety and parks.
That is tax dollars.
It's not paid for out of your tax dollars. It's paid for by the people that, if you eat and for food and beverage, it's getting paid out of that, but it's not getting paid out of your property taxes. So they're using exactly for what it's for. I appreciate what the police department does. I respect what they do. And since I've been on the board, we've been able to accommodate them for everything that they needed. And, you know, we have a lot of young people, even older people that get off of work at night downtown that are servers that get cash tips that are walking down the streets with money in their pockets. And I think that part of this public safety effort is needed in our downtown. And that's really all I got to say about it.
Why does it have to be out downtown, Ricky? Why can't it be out east at Walmart and walk out there?
Walmart has.
Walmart has their own stuff. That's private property. This is public property.
Okay. Why does it always have to be downtown?
Well, I'm not saying it always has to be just downtown.
Question.
Okay. Robert, do you have something you want to add?
You know, I just want to say and what I'm about to say, the criminals know this, the drug runners know this. For the last 10 years at least on I-10, every single vehicle that enters Mississippi and every vehicle that exits Mississippi, a picture is taken of the tab. And that's because of all the drugs that are coming from illegal immigrants coming from the border. And this is an area where there's a lot of drugs go through. So the thought that all of a sudden for the first time someone is taking a picture of someone's license plate. It's been going on for 10 years. If you go to New Orleans tomorrow morning, there will be a picture taken of your tag. And if you come back from shopping tomorrow afternoon, your tag will be taken again. And it will be put into a computer system to determine. It's done by the DEA. Again, the drug lords know it, and they're trying to go around it. But I just want the board to know and everyone to know that for at least 10 years, every vehicle on I-10 has their tag, a picture of it taken.
Okay. That concludes that part of the public comment. Now moving on to the,
Look,
we're
talking about the.
we're past
about cameras.
we're past public comment, okay?
Oh, my God. What did he just talk about?
You should have gotten up. We closed public comment just a few minutes ago. We just wanted to clear up some of the misconceptions.
Traffic's a problem.
Mayor and Alderman's forum. Alderman Burgess.
Sir, it's enough. Enough. Yes, sir, it is.
Alderman Burgess.
Alan, we were talking about asphalt and repairs. We did the coal patch in Ward 1. We still have a few more places to hit, right? So we're taking, what kind of time frame do you think?
I'm hoping to do some more next Monday, Tuesday with the hot asphalt.
With the hot, okay, all right. And the concrete work, we're gonna get Delta, or is that a Sarah question? I think that's a Sarah.
Sarah question, because
Okay.
they've been working more for her than half.
Yeah, okay.
But
I'll
they
give
did
it to
tell me
Sarah.
they're just gonna try to finish up all those DOs by the first of the year.
Okay, and we've got King Henry and the list that I gave you guys. Okay, perfect, thank you.
That's it?
I'm done.
All right, I just got one thing. Today I got an update from the Bernini, from our attorney that's helping us with the Leica property. And he reported back today that, that they read all the records back that started in 2000, starting with the voluntary cleanup of the actual site. He said that through their document investigation and then meeting with the DEQ, that the property for Leica is currently in the process of being cleaned like it's supposed to, and that there's no issues with any health concerns. The contamination that's off-site, they did find out that there's about a 10-foot clay layer that's between the contamination and the top of the soil, and that too is not causing any concern for a health hazard. We're gonna get a letter prepared to write to Leica to basically ask them about the off-site, to find out what their timeline is in the city right away. And then I'm gonna get with the Y and talk to them about their property, if they're willing to also write a letter. But at this point, everything is on schedule the way it's supposed to be, with no health hazards.
Good deal.
Thank you, Rick. And to clarification, that was the environmental attorney that we hired to study that site. That's it.
Thanks for getting the Lafitte and Holcomb leak fixed. Thanks.
Good, Mayor.
All I got is just to remind all of you that tomorrow, 10:30, Gate Lemon Park, come out for the ribbon cutting. If you haven't seen it, it looks fantastic. Big improvement to that area.
Yeah, hot dogs and hamburgers.
Rob's cooking.
Bring the grill, I'll cook. That's all I got.
Got an item for Human Resources here. I need to make a motion to accept the resignation of Deputy Court Clerk Elizabeth Bradley effective December 16, 2024, and authorized to begin the process of filling the position.
Okay, got a motion by Mr. Champion.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Pena. Blackman. Oh, Blackman, okay. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
And, I'm sorry, last board meeting, I recognized the passing of Mr. Bob Montgomery, and I just wanted to publicly thank, I did send him an email, but Lieutenant Brian Kestner's over there. He was in charge of the police funeral escort. I've been in funeral escorts in different areas. Our guys are as professional as they come, and multiple people from the family and friends noted your attention to detail and your professionalism during the funeral escort. I just want to publicly thank y'all for that. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you.
I just want to wish everybody in our community, everybody here, a Merry Christmas, a safe Christmas, and an enjoyable Christmas.
Mayor, I just have one thing. Mr. Bill actually brought it to my attention. Our muni code that we advertise to the public is not up to date. And talking to Carter, she said she would entertain it and welcome us to have a committee that would be willing to review the muni code. And I mean, ordinances are up to date, they're just not added on the muni code. So if we can look at the muni code and bring it all up to snuff as to what we're advertising, I'd like to form a committee, possibly of 3 volunteers from the community and maybe a city employee and an alderman. Not wanting to do that motion right now as far as forming the committee.
Alderman Cox, we signed up with Muni Code, and so anything that we haven't had codified yet, which is basically all of 2024, is posted at the front page of Muni Code.
What's advertised now is not up to date, so that's what we just want to go back and make sure the new stop signs are up. And make sure all of that is added, just to review it. We'll form a committee and be willing to look at it and assist, help out. I just want y'all to be thinking about that if you have anybody that would like to do it, to get on the committee.
It is up to date, and we just received an estimate, and they began work today on the 2024.
We'll double check, make sure, then we won't have to do it, but. That's all I got.
Raven, do we have anything?
The ribbon cutting tomorrow, of course, the New Year's Eve event on the 31st.
Okay. I need a motion to go into closed session to determine the necessity of going into executive session. Motion by Mr. Cox, seconded by Mr. Papania. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. The board is now in closed session.